Hello, hello! It is Wednesday, and Wednesday means it's Noblesse. Oddly enough, it's the first time I've ever done it where I've gone, what day is it? I nearly forgot, so this is going to go up a little bit late because I forgot what day it was. Then I saw Noblesse had released, and I was like, oh, I think I'm supposed to be recording that, so I'm back now. First things first, yes, Becca is still sick, and she sounds funny. I think people have said that I sound funny, and that's fine, that's great. My throat hurts, and it's just sore. Often excited, so when I come off the back of these episodes, I'm normally very, very excited, and it doesn't help that irritates my throat even more. I'm going to try and keep it chill and get through this one, because this episode was a lot happened. Long story short, a lot happened in this episode. Today's title is Spiderweb, and it's the / long fall. I have noticed that when it's a manhwa, we always get the / so we have like one title and then another title. That was the same with God of High School and Tower of God. Oh, why did I miss out on Tower of God? I would have loved to have released on that. We're here for Noblesse, so let's kick it off and go. We're going to open with probably my favourite pairing at the moment. I know they're not actually a pairing, and to be fair, it kind of destroyed my ship halfway through, but Manabu and Tao, the whole Manabu and Tao hacker thing, I love it. I love it to pieces, and I really enjoy seeing the two on screen. Side note, Manabu has the same keyboard as me. He literally has the same glowing keyboard I have. I even have it set up on rainbow. My favourite colours are purple and blue, but I have it on full rainbow because I like to see all the colours. So me and Manabu are the same. Well, we get round 2 of the Hacker Fest. These guys going at it. Manabu managed to send another one of his viruses. I really did ship them at this point. I was like, these two are fantastic together. And then later on happened, and I was like, okay, never mind. That's it, done. Ship gone. Tao manages to get some data on Manabu, which is very important because he wants to meet him in real life. And that cuts to our credits, which is fine. And the first conversation we have on the episode is between my boy Franken and Raz. Franken is lamenting how he misses the days of it just being the two of them. Sierra and Regis coming home. So this takes place literally straight after the episode before. Franken greets them happily. He kind of can tell that Regis is in a bit of a foul mood. And to be fair, Regis to me always seems to be in a foul mood, but his foul mood this episode is like maxed up to 11. And he kind of vanishes, where Sierra actually speaks. We know that I love Sierra. Out of the two of them, I think Sierra is super pretty. She actually speaks. Like, I'm shocked to hear her talk. I think up to this point, she's had like 2 lines where she tells Franken Silver's gone and he's with his friends, and she talks about the union and how he kind of walked off with them, and she believes that they were his friends. She suspects that M21 was only staying with them because he was on a mission. We get this moment where Frank can actually doubt him. How quick he is to actually doubt him, where he's like, was he only here to get information on us? At the same time, it is interesting to note that Raz hears everything and he kind of stops drinking, but nothing else becomes of it. We haven't really seen Raz do a lot yet. For one of the main characters not doing anything, I hope he's going to do something soon. We go back to M21, or my boy Silver. I'm still calling him Silver because I like giving him a proper name. He hasn't really gone anywhere. He's tied to the chair for the entire episode until the end. They start to interrogate him because they want to get information, where they clearly want to know, where's the coffin? Have you crossed paths with Jake and Maria? We keep hearing these names and we haven't seen Jake and Maria yet. I really hope that kind of gets touched on at some point, because I did at one point think it was Sierra and Regis, and it wasn't. They're still out there. He asks about the event that was covered up. Silver is basically being stubborn and he's not answering anything. And I have got to say, what exactly was your plan? Because I know he wanted information, but he's been tied to the chair. I think at later date they said that they've got a truth serum. He knows that he's clutching at straws, and I do think there's probably got to be a better way of getting information than going through the hassle he's gone through. So it really feels like he gets caught and he achieves nothing, and he appears to have the edge. With what we see happen at the end, it shows you how he really didn't, and he didn't have a hand on the situation whatsoever. I would like to see a bit more of Krantz because he is the leader of the group we're with. And he asks him, well, you on a special mission? That's why you can't answer us. And that does beg the question. So is there stuff that the Union won't even tell this little group? Just for a moment, let's pretend Silver was actually on a secret mission and he couldn't actually answer any questions because he's on a mission from the Union. These guys tying him up, trying to get information out of him, kind of goes against what the Union would have wanted. It does feel like there's a bit of a breakdown in communication somewhere along the lines, whether the union should have told the group that Silver was actually betraying them, because he even says that they don't realise that I betrayed them. Even if he was actually working for them and they didn't know, they're interfering with the mission. So it's almost a good thing that he wasn't on a mission, but at the same time, what if he had been? Because these guys are getting in the way. So Silver deduces that Krantz is desperate. So he says he sounds desperate. I must be the only lead they have to try getting any information. So he decides that he's going to try and take advantage of the situation. It's just Shark who keeps losing it. So Shark is definitely the loose cannon out of the group. He keeps trying to kick him. Even Krantz is like, stop it, and he pulls him off him. Takeo is probably my favourite out of the group, and I'm warming to him. I'm warming to him and Tao. Maybe it's because he looks like Gakpo, I don't know. Takeo comes up to him and offers him a drink, and he's even like, I'll drink it first to prove it's not poison. He seems like he's a half-decent bloke. He even says, I don't like seeing a fellow comrade tied up and treated like this. He is the guy I kind of want to see a bit more of, and we do get a little bit more information on him later, and it just makes me warm to him even more. Takeo and Tao as well, both of them are definitely rising in my books of interest. They're characters I've got interests in. Silver says, I'm going to cooperate, but only on one condition. You need to look into something for me. Krantz is like, I'm impressed with you, but you do know we have other methods to get information out of you. Which is what I did wonder at the start. Is like, M21 goes with them because he believes that he can get information on his comrades. He wants to get information about his comrades. For all he knows, they could have tried the truth serum on him straight there and then. Like, why did they even bother interrogating the guy? So many questions, guys. So many questions, but I understand the anime has to happen. So Krantz says that he can't make the exchange because he doesn't actually have the information. That's information that they don't have, where he calls upon Tao, and I guess they maybe mentioned his name, or like I don't understand how he knew Tao's name or knew about him. He says to Tao, it should be easy for you, right? Let's make a deal. He then asks for some food, where they try and give him food from Hammer, where he's like, I don't want food he's eating. They ask him what he wants, and I knew immediately what he would say. He wants ramen. And that is a link to the time he spent with Raz and the director. And of course, one moment, guys, this is Clockwork Dandy Noodle approved. We approve of ramen. So here in the channel, anything ramen based it always gets the Clockwork Dandy Noodles approved moment. As well, please make sure you are subscribed, because you will become a fellow noodling with us on the channel. You will join the ramen bowl, and together we will talk about anime and discuss all the cool things that go on in the anime world. Make sure you're subscribed, or you could be missing out on some fun releases. Let's go to a scene now with Takeo and Tao. They're on the roof. He says, you're not like the rest. You seem almost normal, where Takeo's actually like, if I appear normal, it's thanks to my sister. I think these are the two I'm kind of warming to, where they actually seem to be more human. He's doing everything he's doing because of her, and even later on where he is a decent guy that he can't kill women and children. So he's got a moral compass in regards to someone like Shark, who has no moral compass. And Tao as well, we see him affected later on by Manabu. It's very nice to see these guys starting to come out their shells a bit, and obviously it's episode 4, we're starting to get some information on characters which aren't the main characters. So I like it when an anime takes time to flesh out the characters alongside the mains. So every character starts to feel a little bit fleshed out and realistic. Back at school, the students notice that Silver isn't there anymore, which it's quite a nice sad moment, because even if Silver may feel insignificant to the world and he feels like he's not human, he does have an impact and people do miss him. Manabu asks Regis what happened, where Regis, in his tsundere manner, he's very tsundere this episode. He denies absolutely everything. You's even noticed that Regis is acting very odd. It's Sierra again having more lines. I'm so happy she gets more lines. Give her more lines. And she confirms that, he is acting different. Where Manabu and Yu say, we're going to come over and we're going to come and cheer you up. And, the director absolutely loves us. No, he doesn't. Franken hates you. Or he doesn't hate you. Franken's a stressed man. Leave him alone. In his tsundere self goes, suit yourself. And it's he almost needs to go backer on the end of it. Manabu gets a text from Tao, where he says, I'm inviting you to an offline meetup. I'm very shocked that he actually went to it, but I guess he's also curious in a sense to meet the guy. But at the same time, if Tao had been very, very dangerous and had a gun or something on him, Manabu literally walked straight into danger in that sense. Like, what was his backup plan if it had gone horribly wrong and Tao had turned out to be a weirdo? Guys, do not meet up with random people on the internet, especially if you have only just seen their icon. And Tao's icon is this cat. Don't meet up with a guy who is a hacker and he's tried to hack a police database and he asks you to meet up with him. Just don't, guys, don't do it. So let's cut to the bit which I thought was very interesting. So we now get two scenes. Sierra and Yu are walking and she helps get the shopping. Yu blushes. He totally blushes. And they spot Takeo getting threatened in an alleyway, where I was a bit confused. I was like, is this a setup? Because we've seen him kick literal butt. We've seen him with a big, awesome gun. I said that gun was absolutely awesome. I want that big gun. And we've seen him handle himself in a fight before. But he's here getting beaten up by thugs in the back alley. We see Yu meeting him and he beats up the thugs. Takeo just thanking them and he acts like a human being, which there's some animes where the bad guy acts like the bad guy for no reason, and then he's in public and he acts like the bad guy for no reason. I think even if you were the bad guy, there's going to be points when your mask is going to slip. Bad guys aren't just bad guys. They are human. Most of the time, they are people who have had a childhood. So it's nice to see Takeo respond in the way he does. He notices Sierra and he asks if the two of them are on a date, where Sierra just flat out rejects Yu. She's like, no. And he goes, this woman has nice body. And it's like, okay, that's kind of funny. And that, again, me warming to him because it's showing a goofy side to him. I don't know if this is all set up. I do think it's just a bit odd. The whole scenario felt odd. And that ends with those two laughing at each other, where we see that Manabu has met Tao. To be fair, he looks really uncomfortable and he's sat at the desk and he's very nervous, where Tao tells him to chill out. And he's like, how can I chill out around a guy who hacks the police database daily? At the same time, dude, if you're nervous, why did you even agree to go along? He asks him about the virus and Manabu somehow just thinks it's safe enough to tell him everything. He goes, yeah, I made it myself. It's like, why would you tell him? I don't know, Manabu's lack of walls here is just odd. He asks, what are you doing, like hacking into the database on a daily basis? What are you after? Where he says, I'm after you. We ended with the Takeo scene and Yu was laughing and he was making a joke and they're laughing there. We then cut back to Manabu, who is laughing at Tao, and those two are finally kind of come out their shell. So Tao starts to flatter Manabu, where he goes, you're like me, you understand my emptiness. You feel lonely, unappreciated. The people around me only give me orders. They don't actually appreciate him. There's nothing but brute strength. And on that note, it leads Manabu to think about Yu, even though I don't think their relationship's anywhere near as bad as what's going on with Tao. Okay, I think I had a really bad sub at this point where Manabu calls him boss, but they use the word anarchy, which I believe is actually brother. And it makes more sense if he's calling him brother. So on this sense, I'm using my own Japanese knowledge here to go, I think the sub was bad, and I'm going to say he called him brother, which really flatters Tao. We lead back to Takeo asking Yu and Sierra if they're students as they're walking down the street, just having a regular conversation. It turns out the two of them remind Takeo of his sister, and his sister is about the same age as them. He hasn't seen her in years, but we also find out he's not from Japan. And you get a text from Manabu saying that he's heading up to the director's house, where the two have to leave. So that kind of ends the two mirroring scenes going on with the two meeting the other side, essentially. Them having their human sides where they also seem to relate to the good side. I want to say good side, but I guess good side, the main character side. Where we have the meeting of Tao and Takeo afterwards, where they've met up after their interactions with the other side. Tao asks him, do you want me to try looking for your sister just the once? And we can see Takeo is very suspicious. And he's like, why? What are you trying to do? Are you after something? Are you trying to make a deal? We start to see the cracks. So this last section, we start to see the actual cracks in the group. So even though these guys might be a group, they're working together, these guys are definitely not on the same page. Not a clue. Like, Takeo is suspicious of Tao. He thinks he's up to something. He doesn't trust the guy. So even though they're working together, they don't trust one another. Where Tao says, tell me what it's like to be a sibling. It was 100% confirmed that Manabu definitely said brother at that point. He didn't say boss. It made no sense saying boss. So him calling him brother, it's probably made him a little confused. So it's up in his feels and he's actually feeling feelings. I think we heard this before, that Takeo's sister's being held hostage to get him to work for the union. It's interesting, and I think I really enjoyed the little sequences. Things aren't always black and white, and Tao and Takeo do seem to have a softer side to them both, even if working for the union, they have their reasons to be doing so. Back to Silver, who hasn't gone anywhere. He's in the chair. Shark really annoys me, and I think that's the point where Shark gets a bit trigger happy and he starts to attack Silver, trying to get the information from him. Hammer kind of wonders out to himself really, really loudly. So he thinks it. So he goes, I wonder what was in the coffin. But he says it out really loud. So whether he meant to say it out loud or not, I'm not quite sure. Shark says, the inside the coffin would have been a Noblesse. This isn't new to me. I already figured this out. So I don't know if that was supposed to be surprising or not. He continues to ask Silver, and he starts to threaten him with a knife, and he starts to accuse him of having the coffin somewhere. Just a quick note, guys. Hammer's eating Whack-Donald's, aka McDonald's. I know they always had these fun spin-offs in animes where they don't have the permission from the companies, but it's just funny to see Hammer eating a McDonald's, and it just made me hungry because I am on a diet, so no food over here. And even though the knife's been pulled, Silver isn't fazed. He's like, if you break our agreement and you fail to get information from me, it's going to be all your fault. Where he gets interrupted by Takeo and Tao, where we get to see these cracks and there's no trust between these groups deepen even further. We get some information from Shark that Takeo is just soft. He leaves women and children alive even if he's been given the orders to kill people. Where Shark then goes, it's okay, I killed everybody that you left alive. And this rattles him, and we get quite a close-up of Takeo's face, and he's definitely rattled. And this is what I think it's trying to show us, that this group, they don't trust each other, and this is probably going to be their undoing at some point later on, where the group doesn't trust itself, and Shark winding up Takeo is only going to deepen this mistrust between the two, and these two are, at some point, Takeo is probably going to try and attack Shark, and it wouldn't surprise me if he did, where he then goes, maybe the Union has already killed your sister, which literally kind of causes him to pull out a gun. He pulls the gun, and Tao tries to stop him, but it really shows that these two don't get on, and the group's quite fragmented. So you've got Hammer and Shark following each other around, and I think Krantz is probably more on their side, whilst Tao and Takeo are there, but they kind of get on more together, but they are the softer members, where they don't feel like brute force. They are definitely a little group on their own. We don't spend too much time with the director, which I think this is why I like these episodes more. I seem to enjoy the episodes on Noblesse where we spend less time out of school, hoping we get less and less time in the classroom and more time delving into the world that we're in, and we get more of this dark plot going on. The guys are walking. You and Manabu say that they're walking over to the director's house, and you believes it's because the director lost the match to you and he wants to rematch him. Where we find that Sierra has gone with the director to go and learn how to shop in a supermarket, which is quite cool. But Regis spots Hammer and Shark. He must have really, really like top-notch vision. He sees them staring at them with a pair of binoculars, so they're spying on him, and he vanishes. He literally just vanishes and goes, where he's literally behind them the next moment, and the three of them are met up, where Shark tosses a knife at Regis, who catches the knife, where Shark goes, you're not just a regular kid. And that leads into our little fight. So we have a fight, which is Shark versus Regis. There's a lot of things in this fight I don't like, and I think it might just be me. And maybe it's just the way that the anime's done it. There's a lot of little bits I just don't like. Fight style initially is very wild, where his movements are very frantic. His movements don't seem calculated. He literally just kind of attacks blindly almost. He just kind of like flings knives forward and hopes for the best. We see Regis starting to use some of his powers, where he manages to freeze Shark on the spot. He breaks his momentum and cuts his face, and he repeats it, and he kind of does his energy blast where it really shatters his cape, and because he's wearing a long coat, and it manages to like literally ragged it up, and there's blood on the Shark goes, you must be a Noblesse. This causes Regis to go into a frontal charge, and the entire area just suddenly explodes. Shark tells Hammer to stay out of it, so this must be one of the Hammer attacks. He then tosses him a pill. This is a bit I really don't like, and Shark's new form it looks so top heavy. It's so out of proportion. He bulks up, fair enough, I can probably deal with that. He's probably on some kind of steroids, but it's so top heavy. I feel like if this guy was to walk, he would fall forward because of how much weight he's carrying on the top half of him. And then he goes, this is the power of the D. Well, it's the power of D. Memes, guys. Especially, I don't know if it's an Asian thing, but especially in Europe and like America, the power of the D is something completely different. That's apparently D power, which is making him buffed up. And this new form is faster and the defense is more powerful. He emanates a red glow, where Regis says, I was only going easy on you because you're Silver's friend. And that causes him to radiate blue light. Regis going at it full throttle, where he is so much faster than Shark. If the guys hadn't actually cheated or kind of somehow got you and Manabu on the floor, I don't know how the hell they did that, I think Regis would have had them. I think Regis would have probably killed Shark. And I am annoyed that he didn't, because this guy is annoying and I hate him. It seems somehow Hammer has played dirty and you and Manabu are at his feet, and that causes him to go into a stalemate and he has to stop. He can't fight. You and Manabu do mean something to him, and he's also got that duty as a noble to protect them because they're humans. It's his duty to protect them, so he can't hurt them. He can't put the two at risk, which maybe the guys knew that, perhaps. It's just, I want to know when he did that because we didn't even see the two in the same area. The Hammer tossed a pill to Shark, and somehow in that quick moment where the two level up kind of stage, he got you and Manabu on the floor and we didn't even see it. I'll try and suspend my disbelief. We then get our end sequence where the team is called down to Shark, who has Manabu and you on the floor. We see the shocked reaction from Silver, and we don't really see it, but Tao's face is really hard to read, but I think he's shocked because he's seen Manabu on the floor. Obviously, at this point, Manabu has called him a brother, and we know he's kind of been affected by him being called brother, so whether next week we're going to see Tao deflect, who knows? I hope so, because I think Tao is a cool character. I'd like to spend more time with him, and it would be cool if he was batting for the good side. We also see Regis in cuffs on the floor. Our end sequence is the director praising Sierra for preparing dinner. She is basically the model student. She's amazing, and he's very proud to have a student like her at school. Where we see her blush, she actually blushes. This moment is precious. I like Sierra. She is my favourite female character for the anime, and Franken's probably my top boy, followed maybe by Takeo and Tao. They're definitely rising in their popularity with me. Where we end with Sierra suddenly snapping out of her blush, going, "My connection to Regis has been severed." It was actually a very interesting episode. I had fun. I was definitely on the edge of my seat, wondering where it was going to go. Obviously, I've got critiques, and I've mentioned them as we go along. Those critiques don't make it unwatchable. So it's not me attacking the anime. It's not me hating on the anime. It's me going, these are some things I wish they would address or they would have done better, but I've had fun. I think I'm having more and more fun as we get out of the school setting. I think because I've been an anime viewer for many years, like maybe 10 plus years almost, I've seen so many animes based in school that the setting is very old for me. Starting to see these guys come out of that setting is refreshing for me. It's nice. And the fact that we've actually spent a episode following almost the antagonists, where we've got Takeo and Tao, and we've learnt some information for these guys, and we've seen them, their characters, and we're getting to know them a bit, and we've seen them react to meeting our main characters, and it's very nice to see how that's gone. The Manabu and Tao thing, I think I said last episode that the two of them really do have a nice chemistry. They do get on quite nicely. Even as brothers, I can ship it completely. I definitely support them as brothers, and I think they're awesome. So I do hope we do get a chance to see him playing for the other team. I guess it's going to be very difficult to break free of the union when, especially with Takeo, when his sister is a hostage. How they're going to get around that, I'm very curious to see. I want to see more of Raz. He's not done anything at the moment, and I want to like Raz, I do, but at the moment he's literally just a pretty face who hasn't done anything. I need us to spend a bit more time with him, make him do something. Franken, of course, I love him. He's my comic relief. I love the guy to bits. I am definitely warming up to certain characters. I'm definitely having a lot more fun now. The first 2 episodes, I was a little bit... I was like, am I going to enjoy this? Is this going to be boring? It's definitely a slow burner, as I initially said. It's a slow burner, and it's starting to pay off. We're starting to see some payoff as the plot gets very interesting. So I'm having great fun. Hopefully you guys as well. But do bear in mind, I am an anime only, so please try not to spoil anything. I watched The Awakening, so I know the rough idea. I know about Noblesse, and I know about the slumber. I know roughly what happened with Raz before, so I know what happened in the prequels, but don't spoil anything if you know what happens in the actual main manhwa itself. But yeah, I am very excited to see where this anime is going. It's been fun. The release schedule is Sunday, Monday. We have Moriarty. Come join us for some gritty detective work, as it's getting very dark and a bit heated over there. Monday mornings to Tuesday mornings, we have Golden Kamui. Wednesday mornings, Ikebukuro Escape Park. However, you might want to see the latest release, just because there's some very important information going on there. Go and check that out. Noblesse takes its place Wednesday to Thursday mornings. And Friday is Journey of Elena. Those are my 5 releases this season. I forgot I was doing 5. 5 releases this season. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We have got some content coming up this next week where I should be with other YouTubers, just chilling out, playing some games, and generally chatting about things. So come and join us for that. So make sure you are subscribed for those videos. But I've had a good one, and I hope to see you guys next week where hopefully we get some answers to some of the things that we've seen this episode. So I will see you again soon, guys. Bye-bye.